2024 is finally coming to an end. I've tried many camping gear this year, and I finally narrowed down the list to my favorite camping gear. Stick around and I'll tell you my top picks. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. 2024 has been such an incredible year for new and different types of camping gear that really makes it more fun to go camping again. And I was lucky enough to have an opportunity to try out a lot of different types of camping gears, and I want to tell you guys my top picks, all the way from something for maybe you're new to camping, all the way to you're a pro level camper that wants to camp for a season. I've divided this video into different categories for my top picks, such as gears that I can't live without, gears that pleasantly surprise me, gears that are certainly nice to have as an upgrade, gears that makes good gift for friends and family, all the way to gears for pro campers that like to camp all 4 seasons. So you can skip around to the different chapters and get to the categories that you're interested in the video description. First of all, let's start out with the gear that I cannot live without, and that's the Stanluck IGT adjustable legs. I have 2 sets of Stanluck adjustable legs in a Stanluck leg bag, and this leg right here is the longer version, and then this leg is the shorter version. So this is the 400 height starting out all the way to 660, and this one is 550 height all the way to 830. I always carry one of these 2 IGT leg sets to camp, so let's take a look inside. The reason why I like to use the Stanluck leg bag to carry a set of IGT legs is because I switch my IGT configuration all the time, and I just want to get the right set of height so that way I can just go camping without any second thoughts. Both Snow Peak and Stanluck IGT legs fit into this bag really perfectly, and I love how this bag hugs the legs. Now the Stanluck adjustable legs are a must for me because it allows me to adjust the different height, and I have 10 of them in here. So really I can have a really expanded IGT setup to meet my needs. I used to use these Snow Peak IGT legs, and on every camping trips when I want to switch up my IGT setup, I have to figure out how many legs I'm bringing and what height it should be. So that's a lot of math to prepare yourself before a camping trip. So I'd rather just carry a set like this, knowing the specific height that I'm going to be needing, and just bring it to camp, and I can adjust the leg heights accordingly within that range. These Stanluck adjustable legs are a must for me on my camping trip, and I wouldn't leave home without it. Alright, let's move on to the next category, which is camping gear that surprised me this year. The first item that surprised me a lot this year is Snow Peak's Teppanyaki burner, and boy oh boy, I love this stove. Now this burner has been out for a while, but it didn't really catch my eye because I thought that the grill plate is just a regular non-stick pan, but that's not true at all, and I'll get more into the detail in just a little bit. The Teppanyaki burner comes with 2 parts. This is the grill plate, which has its own case, and this is the main burner body, which also has its own case. It's just a soft fabric case, nothing too special, but hey, you know what? It works. What I like about the Teppanyaki burner is that it's really easy to set up. You can just take it out of the case and it's ready to go. You don't need to pop it into an IGT or anything like that. So it's a great burner to put on any tabletop surfaces. And like I said before, my favorite thing about the Teppanyaki burner is the grill plate right here. It's cast iron quality, so it's really super easy to clean. Every time I cook on it, I can just wipe it off and it'll be clean and ready to go for the next round. I've cooked plenty of things on this burner, from okonomiyaki all the way to Korean barbecue. The grill plate makes it pretty non-stick, so it's really easy to pan fry something and make your food crispy. For example, when I pan fry okonomiyaki, it's so crispy and so delicious. I can't rave enough about the Teppanyaki burner, and I regret that I didn't get this sooner. So with that being said, if you're on the fence about getting this burner, you should probably pick it up because Snow Peak's gonna discontinue it in the very near future. Next up on the list, let's talk about the Recta stove. This is a Snow Peak Recta stove, and I typically don't like backpacking stoves because backpacking stoves are designed to be smaller, and also it's not meant for bigger pots and pans to go on top of it. But the Recta stove checks all the boxes. Although it's designed like a backpacking stove, it takes it to the next level by making it more powerful and a bigger surface for you to mount bigger pots and pans. I gotta say that it's really easy to use this stove to supplement whatever it is that I'm cooking or grilling. Unfolding the Recta stove might be a little bit confusing on your first time, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to set up and attach to an isopropane tank. The low footprint of the Recta stove makes it really easy to just put on the table and complement whatever else it is that I'm cooking, whether I'm grilling or boiling something or pan frying something. It's a great tool to easily heat up your food. So let's move on to the next item that I want to talk about, which is the Snow-Peak Celes light. The Snow-Peak Celes light really caught me by surprise because I didn't think that I would like this light as much as I do. I just love how versatile this light is. It could be used as an area light or it could be used as a flashlight. So I can have this lighting up my tarp and my hangout area, and if I need to go to the bathroom somewhere, I can just take this out and use the tip right here as a flashlight. The buttons right here allows you to switch to different modes. You can either have the top lit up, the bottom lit up, or both lit up. Another cool thing about this light is that it comes with a hanger. You can attach the hanger and clip it to any daisy chain or hooks under a shelter or a tarp. And the cool thing about this is that this is adjustable. Not only that, the bottom of the Celes light has a mounting point for a camera tripod, or if you take this off, you can mount it to a TTA frame. This light definitely lights up the area brighter than I expected, but it's not overly glaring. It's so bright that it feels like you're at home with the fluorescence light on. So I definitely highly recommend you get this light, but you have to keep in mind that the only downside to this light is that it charges via USB-C and it takes 8 hours to fully charge this light. But you should be fine if you're a weekend camper and you charge this light after every camping trip. Okay, so next up, let's move on to the next category, which is nice to have upgrades. I've been using the Wood & Burn Uniconn S for over 2 years now. If you've been following my channel, you know how often I use that grill and how much I love that grill. This year, however, Wood & Burn came out with the Wood & Burn Uniconn M, which is a bigger version of the Uniconn S. It turns out that it's actually perfect for my camping needs this year because I do a lot more group camping. So with a bigger grill surface, it allows me to entertain more friends and family. There's no doubt that the Uniconn M is a powerhouse in grilling meats, seafood, and everything else that you can think of. The Uniconn M is such a versatile product. Not only can it grill, it can also become a fire pit. With the light box attachment, you can turn it into a fire pit and have this beautiful fire that's encased in glass. And you can vent all that smoke out with the hot stove pipes, so that way you don't have to take in any of the smoke while you're sitting near the campfire. Also, I haven't gotten a chance to use it yet, but there is an attachment that turns it into an oven. Isn't that incredible or what? So as you can see, there are more add-ons to the Uniconn M, making it much more versatile than the Uniconn S. But if you're looking for something smaller and more convenient, the Uniconn S is still a great choice for you to carry around with you to camping. As you can see here, I have over a dozen mini Hozukis, and my relationship with the mini Hozuki is a complicated one. I initially got the mini Hozuki because I thought they were cute little lights that could be hung and string with daisy chain under a tarp. And I was pretty happy with it at first, but having to swap out batteries every time it runs out of batteries is not so fun. I would have to take off the cover, pop out the lid, and then swap out the batteries. It's not very fun when you have to do this for a lot of mini Hozukis. Now this year comes the new rechargeable mini Hozuki, which is a game changer. I totally think it's worth the upgrade because all you have to do is pop out the cover and plug it in through a USB-C connection to charge the battery. And speaking of battery, if you pop the lid and take a look at the inside of the rechargeable mini Hozuki, you can see that there are rechargeable batteries in there ready to go for you, and it's connected through the USB-C connection, allowing you to easily charge your mini Hozukis. The crystal shades that fits onto the mini Hozuki is also a game changer because I've always thought that the mini Hozuki didn't produce enough light. The crystal shade makes it seems like it lights up more, and you can put it flat on the table like this and it'll light up, giving it a nice pattern and shade on your table. So I definitely think making the mini Hozuki rechargeable is a game changer, and I think you should pick one up to really enhance your camp setup. Alright, next up is Stanluck IGT Bags. Stanluck IGT Bag is such a huge improvement over Snow-Peak's IGT Bag. It has compartments for you to keep IGT legs, IGT frame, bamboo extension, and also inserts. I have with me the Stanluck 3-unit IGT bag, so let's take a peek inside of what makes this bag so special. In my Stanluck bag, I'm able to keep a bamboo extension. There's a sleeve that separates the bamboo extension and the IGT frame to keep it from scratching, and is sewn into the bag to keep it nice and organized. I really like that. And within the sleeve, there's also room to store some inserts. Now, I think this part right here is probably one of the smartest design feature of the Stanluck bag, is that it uses this empty space between the IGT frame for you to store leg. And I think for the majority of you guys, this would actually really make your life a lot easier, because you can just have a set of IGT with all the legs and insert and be ready to go. For me, however, I prefer the bag leg that I showed you at the beginning of the video, because I swap out IGT configuration so much. But it's just a matter of personal preference, so whatever it is that you choose, make it work for you. Not only does Stanluck make good IGT bags, they also make great bags for sliding extension. Oh my goodness. For the longest time, I had such a hard time carrying my sliding extensions to camp, because it's such an odd shape and nobody makes bags for this. And finally, Stanluck brings this bag so I can store my sliding extension, so I can bring it to camp more often. Each bag can store up to 2 sliding extensions, and it has a little cover and divider to keep the 2 extensions from scratching each other. I think this bag is amazing. And it also has a bag for corner extension. Oh my goodness, again. The corner extension is actually a really weird shape. And as you can see, Stanluck makes a really tightly fitted bag. I'm able to store 2 corner extension. Again, it has a divider that basically keeps the 2 corner extension from scratching each other. These Stanluck bags makes it easier and really encourages me to bring these extensions out to my camping trip and make my life a lot easier. While we're on the topic, let's go on and talk about how awesome the Stanluck TTA Clamp is. This little clamp right here is the Stanluck TTA Clamp, and this little clamp right here makes my life so much easier. Here's the comparison between the Snow Peak TTA Clamp and the Stanluck Clamp. As you can see, the Stanluck TTA Clamp is a lot lighter and smaller frame. I like the Stanluck TTA Clamp so much because all you need to do is twist the bottom to secure the clamp, versus the Snow Peak TTA Clamp, you have to fiddle with the top and the bottom to make sure that it's twisting correctly so you can get it into frame. Also, the Stanluck TTA Clamp is only $7 compared to the Snow Peak's TTA Clamp, which is over $40. Right now, the Stanluck TTA Clamp only fits Stanluck's TTA system. However, I have good news for you guys. Stanluck is developing an adapter that will go on top of this clamp to make it compatible with Snow Peak's TTA frame. So pretty soon you'll be able to get this Stanluck TTA clamp and an adapter for a very cheap price. And don't let that cheap price fool you, because this clamp right here is pure quality. You can feel how thick the steel is and how durable it is and how well it clamps onto the IGT frame. So overall, I'm extremely happy that I got a chance to use the Stanluck TTA clamp, and I'm going to continue to use it. And I'm really excited for them to come out with the adapter that makes it compatible with Snow Peak's TTA frame. Alright, the next category is gifts for people. I have to admit that I'm not that good at shopping for gifts, but definitely being a snow peaker and having friends that love Snow Peak makes it so much easier to find gifts to give them. These 3 items in front of me are my recommendations for buying gifts for your friends and family. Now we'll start out with the lowest price item, which is the Snow Peak Titanium 450 Double Wall. The Snow Peak 450 Double Wall is my most regularly used item that I use every day at camp, at home, and also at work. And I also love how I can anodize it to give it this nice rainbowy color pattern. So definitely, if you give somebody a plain titanium cup, they can anodize it, or you can anodize it for them to make it a more personal touch. Next up is the Snow Peak Aurora bottle. I have to say that over the years, I don't know how many tumblers I've gone through, because it seems like I change tumbler every single year. But ever since having this Aurora bottle, I don't change my tumbler anymore. It's just a really classic design that is built to last for years, and the design is minimalistic so it doesn't go out of trend. I just love how light this bottle is and how easy it is just to carry water in it. However, it is single wall, so it'll adapt to the temperature of your environment. But nonetheless, simplicity is an art form, and I just love how this bottle is engineered because it's really hard to bend titanium, and they got it to be this shape and this color. I like the design of this water bottle and how you can carry this water bottle with the lid. And this water bottle is very eye-catching. I've had many compliments on its color. However, keep in mind that this water bottle does get dinged really easily, so if you bump it or drop it, it's gonna have an imperfect shape to it. I definitely have a ding on mine, and I think that it makes it more unique. Some people also say that this water bottle's lid is a little squeaky. So as you can see, when I'm undoing the lid and squeezing it in, you can hear a squeak. Now this squeak does get better the more you use it, but the squeak is always there, so if that annoys you, you might want to reconsider getting this water bottle for somebody. Last but not least, the price of this water bottle is pretty expensive, so if you do give it to somebody, that person's got to be pretty special to you. But often enough, you can find this water bottle on sale at Camp Saver and other third-party websites. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the Snow Peak Rumble Takibi blanket. This is my first Takibi blanket, and I have to say that I really do love the chocolate color of this Takibi blanket colorway. The blanket has two sides that's made of different material. The first side is a Takibi fabric, which is fire resistant. And then the other side is classic Rumble Nanosoft blanket fabric material. Both sides feels really good to the touch and is pretty lightweight. And this blanket is definitely one of those items that is an added on layer when you're sitting around the campfire during the colder seasons to keep you and your family warm. Another one of my favorite features is that you can wear this blanket as a cape without any hands. There's a little tie right here that you can clip on, so that way you can wear this as a cape. You can be hands-free and be wrapped in this blanket and keep yourself warm. In this category, I want to talk about the equipment that I use that's considered pro-level camping. What does pro-level camping even mean? It means that this equipment allows me to go camping for a longer period of time, and also it allows me to camp in harsher conditions, especially 4 seasons all year round. So to start out, I want to talk about the most important equipment that keeps my food safe so I can go on longer camping trips. I have in front of me the Iceco APL55, and I gotta say that this refrigerator is a game changer. I've had this refrigerator running since July because when I'm not camping with this refrigerator, I leave it at home and use it as a freezer. I just pulled this refrigerator from a semi-covered area in my backyard, and as you can see here, it's wet and it's got a little bit of dust onto it. It's been exposed to the environment since July, and I have to say that there's no sign of rust at all. The metal finish on this refrigerator is not only beautiful, but it also protects the refrigerator from environmental factors. Since it's been running constantly as a freezer for me, let's open it up to see what it looks like on the inside. Taking a look at the inside, there's some frosting on the wall of the refrigerator, but this is not bad at all comparing to some other brand refrigerator that I've used. There's a lot to like about the Iceco APL55. First of all, I really like the large capacity of this refrigerator because it allows me to go on longer camping trips. I can go for a week and store all of my food in this refrigerator and not have to go grocery shopping. This is really important because when I'm on road trips, it's really hard to find Asian themed ingredients. So I typically store all the ingredients that I find from Asian grocery market in this refrigerator and freeze it. But I also bring this refrigerator on shorter camping trips when I'm camping with my friends. Its large capacity allows me to carry more food and drinks and allows me to share it with my group of friends. The compressor of this refrigerator is top notch, is very quiet and very efficient. I can easily run this refrigerator on a 1 kilowatt power station for a weekend without having to charge. But most importantly, its dual zone feature allows me to store food and drinks on one side that's ready to eat, and frozen food on the other side, in which I'll eat later on my trip. Everything from the construction, the capacity, and the compressor technology of this refrigerator is 2 thumbs up for me. I highly recommend you get the Iceco APL55 if you're ready to take your game up to the next level. If you're gonna bring a 12-volt refrigerator, you might as well as have a power station that accompanies it. My go-to power station this year that I recommend is the Ecoflow Delta 3 Plus. Its 1 kilowatt hour capacity is perfect for weekend campers and RVers. The inverter technology for this power station isn't the most powerful, but it's just enough to run all the major appliances that you might have. I'm able to run my espresso machine, microwave, and even the air conditioner in my Airstream base camp. This power station is also perfect for sharing it with your friend group, so that way they can plug in their devices and charge, and you won't have to worry about running out of battery because it holds quite a lot of charge. And speaking of charging, I love how this power station can charge from 0 to 100% in under an hour. This is super important because if you're going on a road trip and camping, you might be off grid for a few nights and make it back to town to charge and reset your equipment. Now you're able to charge this power station in a lunch sitting or dinner sitting at a restaurant and have it all ready to go for the next few days. This power station is definitely a must-have, and I carry this power station with me in the Airstream base camp at all times. Next up, let's talk about my favorite tarp and shelter for 2024. There's no doubt that the Takibi Hexa tarp is one of the most popular tarp. But this year, I started using the Hexa Evo Pro tarp from Snow Peak. I gotta say that I really appreciate the larger coverage area for this tarp because I've been doing a lot of group camping this year, and we've had groups of 6 to 8 people all at once. And this tarp is great for that, especially on a rainy day. All I need to do is to install the Takibi inner lining for this tarp, and we could have a campfire underneath the tarp. It's actually pretty easy to set up even with a larger footprint, because instead of needing 8 stakes, it only needs 6 stakes. If I can set this tarp up by myself in about 15 minutes, I'm sure that you can set it up a lot faster with the help from a friend. Since this tarp is in Snow Peak's Pro Line series, the quality and material of this tarp is better than Snow Peak's standard equipment tarps. What that means is that it's able to stand harsh environments such as rain and snow. And I've camped plenty of time with this tarp in the rain, and it kept me totally dry as long as I'm underneath the tarp. You can also add on pulls to the side of the tarp to kind of shape the tarp according to your group's needs. This tarp is definitely a must-get tarp if you're camping with 4 or more people. Now let's move on to my dream shelter this year, which is the Living Shell Long Pro. I'm a pretty big fan of shelters because shelters can provide separate living area for sleeping and hanging out, and the Living Shell Long Pro does just that. You can use the Living Shell Long Pro purely as a shelter for hanging out, or you can add an inner room for a sleeping area with privacy and have a hangout area on the other half of the Living Shell. Or you can use a dome-shaped tent to dock with the Living Shell Long Pro. That makes the Living Shell Long Pro a separate hangout area and the dome-shaped tent to be a sleeping area. Overall, I think the Living Shell Long Pro is such a versatile shelter that really adapts to your needs. I just love how the Living Shell Long Pro has a bunch of mesh panels that allows me to open or close. This allows me to adjust to the weather and outside environment to keep my family comfortable. The Living Shell Long Pro has an A-frame shape very similar to the Alpha Breeze. The only difference between the Living Shell Long Pro and the Alpha Breeze is that the Living Shell Long Pro is slightly bigger and it requires 1 extra long pole to wrap around its back end. The good news is that if you're 6 feet, you can comfortably walk around inside the Living Shell Long Pro without crouching or hitting your head. I'll definitely be using the Living Shell Long Pro for all season, and especially camping in the winter and fall in harsher weather. It's definitely my dream tent, and I'm super happy to get it this year. Well, that's my top pick for camping gear in 2024. Let me know what your thoughts are on my list and what some of your favorite camping gears are. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.